Whenever you're telling a story like this, you have to relive it, and I think that was not something that I was expecting necessarily. I knew it would be a difficult journey, but I didn't know quite how deep I would go with it. And it's tough. It's tough to say goodbye to something.
The world is mourning Anne Heche, the beloved actress who died on Friday following a car crash that left her with serious burns and health complications. And in the wake of her death, Anne's life has sparked renewed interest, specifically the story shared in her 2001 memoir, Call Me Crazy, driving up prices among collectors and fans.
Hopefully I can just give the truth, you know? I think if I had had the truth given to me when I was a kid, things would have been different. So I hope I can give the truth.
The late actress's book is now being sold as a collectible. The price tag between $700 and in some places nearly $1,000. Yeah, and when the memoir was first released, it retailed for just over $20.
Just a day in December, I was sitting and I think I was doing some yoga and I went, oh, call me crazy. That's what it is, because I think I've been crazy even though I've never been diagnosed.
Call Me Crazy details Anne's trauma from childhood abuse, struggles living in the public eye, and her past relationship with Ellen DeGeneres.
For people who talk and say abuse is not something that you should talk about, I completely disagree. Abuse is something that should be talked about so that you don't find yourself wandering through fields, you know, calling for God and screaming for God, because it can make you crazy if you don't talk about the pain in your life. So that is part of why I did this. But also part of why I did it is because people watched me go through real crazy moments in my life in public, and they didn't know what was behind it. And I think it is my responsibility as a public figure. Funnily enough, I only figured that I was a public figure when people were making fun of me and calling me crazy, and I went, oh, maybe they need the whole story here. And then, sure, feel either way about it that you want to feel, but at least you know the story. The incredible things about Ellen and I coming together is that we both had a notion about teaching the world about love, and we bonded over that. It's an interesting thing to be on the other side of that, because one of the things that I've realized is that you can't teach people to love, even though you sometimes wish that you could. And I think Ellen and I thought that in representing our love, we could, you know. But you can't. You can't bring somebody to love themselves or you or anybody else. And that's an interesting lesson to have learned through that relationship, that the journey is about inside, not outside. But it was still an extraordinary journey, and I met amazing people, and I had an incredible relationship. Unfortunately, it didn't work out, and that's, again, for many, many reasons that didn't work out, but it was an amazing relationship. To give the truth, it's easier than lying. You know, you don't have to worry about what anybody says. You at least know that you're always telling what's happening. And do I think it's hard? Sure, because it's just like what you said. It can be confused as many different things when you're telling the truth. However many people are going to have however many different ideas about my book. My book is the truth of my life. But there are going to be a million different opinions about why I'm telling the truth. So is it hard? Sure, it's never fun to hear that it's not just all good, you know? But I think it's easier. It certainly feels better to me.